Well, hi folks. It's my last night at Birch Grove Campground. We have a car going by. I'll give that a second to get past us. He came in, I thought he was going kayaking. He's got a kayak on his roof. He went down to the other landing. I think he's coming back to this one. But I'm just going to summarize my trip. Day one, getting camp established and settled in, and I went out on the kayak. That was on Monday. Tuesday, I went out on the kayak and I spent a couple hours out on this lake that's right off of my campsite. Caught a bunch of little tiny bluegills. Did a couple different videos that second day in camp. First night was great. Slept real good. Last night, well, I take that back. I gotta back the clock up. Okay, that was first night. Second day, was on the kayak again. Back on this lake, fishing. Nothing but a bunch of little bluegills. Then I thought, well, I'm going to try fishing from the shoreline on this second lake. So I went over there, fished for 20 minutes, and it was catching all kinds of hand-size bluegills. Well, I got a couple that were quite good sized. So I kept those and had them for dinner last night. And I don't remember what all video work I did yesterday. Oh, that fellow went by again. This time he might put his kayak in the water, who knows? So, last night was great. I had a great dinner. My coffee's done. Let me pour this quick. I've been craving a cup of coffee for the last couple hours. But instead of coffee, I've been just drinking a lot of water to rehydrate today. So anyway, so yesterday, it was a great day. It was a great day. I don't even remember what all video work I did. I did a bunch of kayaking. I believe I filmed a little bit of it, but I went out on the kayak a total of 3 times actually yesterday out on this lake. And then like I said, I fished from the bank over here. Caught those large, there were some pretty good sized bluegills in there. Had a good time visiting with a fella that I met here. He came the first 2 nights he was here fishing offshore. Well, we had a long chat here in camp. He come into camp and had a long chat. It was great. It was great. I was really glad to meet him. His name was Austin. Austin, if you're watching this, hello. He went home the first night and he said him and his girlfriend watched my channel. So that was nice. Oh, got a loon landing over here in the lake. We've got a couple of loons that seem to jump back and forth between these two lakes. But so last night was great. Had an awesome dinner. I had fried bluegills. I had potato and ham soup. It was just great. It was great. And another great night. Slept like $1,000,000. Got up early again this morning, like I did yesterday morning. So it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So today, I got the kayak all set up. Here I just pull the kayak, just drag it through the grass down here to the water's edge. Today, I went to the second lake. That meant I had to go down this gravel road in the campground to another landing to get it in. Otherwise, I'd have to go down a steep embankment with it. I don't want to drag it because I'd have to drag it across a lot of gravel. I don't want to tear up the hull of my boat. So I've got a cart for my kayak, and so I geared it all up, and I headed down, got it put in the lake, and fished that one. Oh my Lord, next time I'm here that I want to go fishing, that's the one to fish in, not this one, that one. I found a couple of hot spots. I got in one hot spot. I think my total was like 16 large bluegills, big ones, big ones. I could have taken 16 large bluegills home with me. My cooler isn't so cool anymore on going on the fourth day, so I opted not to keep them. A lot of catch and release. But boy, did I have a good time out on that lake today. I was out on that lake 5 hours. 5 hours. Little bit of sunburn on my legs today. I was surprised. I took my shirt off, but I didn't burn. But boy, my legs did. So, here I am. After kayaking all afternoon. I started at about 10:30 this morning, and I got done. I got done about well, it was after 5 o'clock. I know that it was after 5 o'clock. I pulled the kayak out. Right now it's 7 o'clock. I walked through the campground, and there's a campsite way on the end of the campground. Way down there. And it's a little more secluded. It's surrounded by timber. Here the campsites are pretty open. You know, there's brush that's maybe shoulder height all over the place, but you can see the next campsite. That campsite is cut into the woods, and it's surrounded by timber. It's got 2 great trees for a hammock, but it's the furthest from the water of any of these sites. So next week, you know, I love the water. I love to fish. But next week, I think I'm coming back here. If there's not a lot of people here, I'll camp here next week. Monday through Thursday again, like I did this week. But I'm going to take that campsite. I'm not going to bring the kayak with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 4-day camp and just camp. I'm just going to hang out in the campsite, do a little hiking. There's a lake I want to hike to. That would be the only fishing I would do, is if I hike to that other lake. But I'm not too certain about that because there's no trails to it. I got a bushwhack for about 1.5 miles to get to that lake. There's no access to it whatsoever. There's no trails, no ATV trails, no roads, nothing going to it. But I'd love to go try that out. Now, here, just a second. I got to check something on my camera. Okay, all is good. The thing is Today, battery issues. 3 days of filming. All my batteries are going dead at the same time in 4 different cameras. So today's video work is chop, 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 chop. All coming off of 3-4 cameras. I'm going to have to piece it all together to make videos for today's part of the trip. But back to what I was saying. If I camp in that campsite, it's going to be camping. If I go fishing, I'll be taking my little compact backpacking rod and reel. It's just a little bugger. I'll grab my day pack and some lunch, and I'll hike into that other lake and probably video the hike in. Should be pretty interesting. But that's what I have planned for next week. Tonight, I'm doing Mountain House for supper. I'm lazy. Everything this trip has been fresh food. I've cooked nothing but fresh food every meal except for this morning. I had Mountain House biscuits and gravy for breakfast. I was going to have bacon and eggs, and I said, nah, skip it. I'm going to have bacon and eggs tomorrow morning before I head out of here. I wanted to get out on the water, and plus I had a bunch of camp chores to do. So, Mountain House for breakfast. Well, I decided I'm going to do the same thing tonight. I just can't decide. I've got so many Mountain House, it's ridiculous. So I grabbed 2, and I got to decide between the 2. It's either lasagna or the beef stew. Honestly, I like the lasagna best. But it's not as filling as the beef stew. And the beef stew's good, don't get me wrong. It's good. So, that's Stuy's hardest choice. This whole 4 days, 3 nights is, which will it be? Lasagna or beef stew? I was looking at all of the nutritional facts on it. You know what? The sodium, the carbohydrates, those are the 2 things I need to worry about. Oh, and the cholesterol a little bit. But there's hardly any cholesterol in these. But the carbs and the salt in them, if I eat them both, it still fits in my diabetic diet and my heart diet. So I'll pick one, and if I'm still hungry, by golly, I'll make the other 2. But Stuy's loving it. He's loving his retirement. I love it out here. It's beautiful. Boy, they're really pushing me. My first day here, the Forest Service ranger stopped, got to talking to me, and I know him from years ago. He doesn't remember me well. He does remember who I am, but he doesn't remember me well. He was quite the young man at the time. He's a tribal member for a tribe that I used to work for years ago. Well, he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, and he got a hold of his supervisor, and she talked to me over the radio, and they want me to host this campground. And I told them I couldn't do it this year. I'd have to live out of my truck tent, or I'd have to set up one of my pods or a small backpacking tent in it and throw a couple of tarps up or something. That's not going to be very comfortable for long term. And they said, well, can you do just a month this year? I said, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it the way I'm currently set up. And they said, how about next year? I said, boy, you got my interest. And they said, well, you can pick the campsite you want. They prefer that I take what's called camp number 2 because it sits on a hill and it looks over the whole campground. And I kind of like it. I like it. The only thing I don't like is the access to the water is a little rough. But I could get by with that, and I have my kayak close to camp in the water all the time. And they're trying to talk me into doing the full year, the season. Basically from May 1st until October 1st. Well, when you think about that, May, June, July, August, September, 5 months of living in camp here at this campground. Yesterday I was so excited about it. Now that I've thought about it for a while, I don't know. I don't know. I want to, I really do. It's probably the only opportunity I'll have in my whole life to host a campground for 5 months. And there's no fee. I don't have to pay any fees to be here. So, at the regular price, I mean, holy smokes, we're talking almost $1,700 in campsite fees that I wouldn't have to pay. Lord have mercy, wouldn't that be something? And I can go home. I can be away from my campsite for 24-hour periods. Can't be away more than 24 hours. But, and we talked about it, it would work because I could leave on a Thursday morning, back for town, go to my apartment, go to the studio, and do my live streams. Come back out to camp, head back out of camp early afternoon Sunday, do my Sunday live streams, and head back out here on Monday morning. So, I said I'll consider it for next year. So they put me down as if I'm taking it. I said, no, I'm considering it. They said, nah, you'll take it, you'll take it. Well, when I do come out, if I come out and do that, I'll be using the Sty Adventure trailer. And I told them that I run a YouTube channel and that I'll be doing a lot of video work out here, and I'll be doing a lot of bushcrafting at my campsite. They said, your campsite is considered your home here at camp because you're the host. They said, do whatever you want. They said, you just can't run a commercial business from that site. I said, well, other than YouTube, and they said, we don't care about YouTube. They said, in fact, it's good. They said it's good for the National Forest Service to have a host that's video documenting their campground. It's so tempting because this campground only has 16 campsites in it. And it only gets wild a few times, I guess, during the summer. I won't be here in this campground over the 4th of July week. The 4th of July week, if I go camping, again, it won't be with the kayak that week because I'll be boondocking it, going way out, getting off the beaten path where nobody else will be because 4th of July week will be nuts in these campgrounds. So yeah, that's summing up this 4-day, 3-night adventure. I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. I'm not going to. I'm just going to break down camp, why video that, and fix myself some bacon and eggs. You've seen me cook now a few times. Yeah, you know Sty can cook. So this will be the last video. It kind of sums up the whole trip. I want to thank you all for tagging along. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, punch my ugly mug. I hope this video isn't so terrible long that you didn't get this far. Hit the thumbs up for me, would you? And I'll leave a couple videos up you can check out. And until the next time, the next live stream or the next video, you all have a very, very nice day. And thanks for tagging along. Bye-bye.